Wow. What do you make of his Joe Rogan appearance?
I think it's a calculation.
What is Tucker doing? What is the deeper reason behind what he is sharing and the way he's going about it? I'm going to share what I channeled about his soul contracts and how it's connected to what he's doing right now in his life. And for any reason, Tucker, if you see this, of course, and you don't want this out, let me know. But I'm staying high level and out of the private areas of his life for this video, okay? So what I channeled around Tucker is that they actually this time showed me some past lives that he's had where he was involved in with people of power. He was involved. He knew what was going on behind the scenes with people of power. We're talking like picture ancient Rome, maybe Greece, times when there was overt control being placed over humanity. Sound familiar? And he was trying to get truth out in these lifetimes, and he was unable to do that. I won't share the details of what went down, but he wasn't able to do that. And in this lifetime, there's that when we're talking about soul contracts, there's always very many. The way I'm shown soul contracts is that you create a life blueprint before you come, and you have soul contracts with people, experiences, challenges, even trauma that help you align to what your soul is coming to do. And there's many things that your soul comes to do here. Okay, so for Tucker, with just this example, one of the things he's here to do is to balance out these lifetimes of not being able to bring truth forward. So what he did in this lifetime, now there's many layers to this, but what he did in this lifetime is he created for himself. I don't know his story. I just know a little bit about, I think he worked for some type of news station or newscasting thing. He worked for a corporation before, and something happened to him. I don't know what happened to him, but he no longer works for that corporation. I don't know if it was mutual or if he left or they let him go, but that was all meant to happen because he's stepping into what his soul desired for him to do in this lifetime, which is to be free from the lack of being able to share what he wants to share, which he could not do in previous lifetimes. So in this lifetime, he's fulfilling the opposite side of what his soul has experienced in other lifetimes, which was the lack of being able to share truth. And in this lifetime, he's sharing truth, or he's sharing the things that he feels drawn to share. Now, I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of any of this kind of stuff, Tucker stuff, or really anything that's connected to any news. However, there are people now who have soul contracts here, whistleblowers, all kinds of people that are coming out and sharing on platforms like this truth. And people are starting to realize that this is where they're getting their truth from world events. Caveat, if you watch the rest of my videos, unplug from all of it. If anything's bringing you fear or low vibration, then unplug it. It's time to regroup, because that's how we're controlled. But Tucker is feeling drawn in this lifetime, this like undeniable, inexplainable pull to share what he feels is important. Okay, so whether or not you agree with what he's sharing, whether or not you agree with the people he's talking to, again, I don't know really anything about that. That's not the point. The point is from a single level soul contract, he's here balancing lifetimes of being silenced. Okay, but he also, these soul contracts are connected to the collective and what he's doing. Now there's several people on the planet that are doing very similar things at a high level, right? My last video was about Candace. She's also got here to do a similar thing in a different way. So Tucker is here to bring forth information that we are meant to go inside and say, how does this feel? Does this resonate with me? And ultimately, kind of remove yourself from from a high level perspective. It's ideal to remove yourself from the 3-level perspective of things, because all of this polarization that comes through politics, religion, etc., is meant to divide us. But what he's doing is bringing forth information that he's feeling pulled to at this deep level. It's coming from outside of himself. He's being pulled to illuminate some of these things in order to provide humanity an opportunity for them to make the decision on what resonates with them, and ultimately detach from anything bringing fear. But this is a soul contract that his soul has, again, to balance all other lifetimes, but also serve the collective. So what they also showed me is that he's very brave. This is a very, very, very brave thing that he's doing. Again, there's a very different feel than compared to some of these other people that I've channeled that I'll be making videos about. It's very brave what he's doing. Part of this, for him to be sharing these things in this way at a personal level is very, very brave, because there is this deep memory of what's happened to him in previous lifetimes. And when I'm channeling for clients one-on-one, they have fears about things. Maybe they call it money blocks. Maybe they call it blocks with love. Whatever they feel like they're blocking, a lot of it's coming from fear because of what's happened to them in previous lifetimes. And also our childhood recreates a lot of the previous lifetime things in order to give you an opportunity to overcome it in this lifetime. So that's what I see for him. That's what I feel, is that he's here, again, balancing lifetimes of things going a different way, but pushing through this fear. Him, after he left the whatever network he was at, for him to land on his feet and to be pushing forward in the way that he is doing is taking a lot of bravery. Again, whatever you feel about him, whatever you feel about his content is beside the point. It takes a lot of bravery. I'm being reminded here by these groups of beings that I channel that, in my corporate background, I stood up against overt racism and corruption, and it was very difficult. No one else was doing it. It cost me my job, and I knew it was coming, even though I have a perfect record. I was a highly sought after sales team, multi-layered VP executive, process designer, highly sought after for 15 years. I knew, I could feel it coming. I could tell that I was poking the bear and that I was standing up for things that they didn't want me to voice. And I knew it was going to cost me my job, and it did. That kind of thing takes, I don't know where the courage came from, but those types of things, like what Tucker is doing, takes a lot of courage. So he's got big soul contracts on an individual and collective level. So thank you, Tucker, for staying brave. And he's, a really great example for many of us to share truth, share what you feel is important, bring unity, try to show try to understand the different perspective of things. It's a really good example for us. So drop your questions and comments. Who else do you want me to look into? And I'll see you in the next video.